Oh, gentlemen, we are back
We are back on the online Fallbar podcast
like we
with
never left.
Quinn Blackman. It's a pretty exciting time in the baseball world right now.
Yes.
All-Star festivities just happened. Trade deadline is about to happen. And especially for the three of us, gentlemen, our three teams are important over these
Right in the
next
thick
two
of it. Right
weeks.
in the thick of it.
Right, very much so, right
Right
in the
in
thick
the
of it.
thick of it.
I know Q, you had some comments that you were eager to make in our group chat yesterday. So I wanna defer to you and just let you go
Okay,
and do your
okay.
thing.
All right, so yeah, let me pull up some of the ideas again. I mean, truly, um, here let me start the All-Star game last night. I mean, the All-Star game, um, watching the Collierville native Brent Rooker go deep in game.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That fired me up. That fired me up. It was a fun watch last night. I thought I still can't get behind ever the in-game interviews.
Yeah.
Um, like Terry Skubal kind of getting hit around in the first inning, and they got they got Smoltzy and Joe Davis in his ear, and they're asking him questions, and he's trying to get out. So that was kind of
Yeah,
funny.
it's annoying.
But no, I thought the All Star game was. I think it's trending back in the right direction. I know it's like the super like base thing to say is like I'm not super in on Rob Manfred. Um, like I don't know, he just doesn't really seem to make too many right decisions. I mean the
That's fair.
the one thing I know this is we're already going off on our first tangent, but the the Rob Manfred for me, the one thing that I really don't like, that was with the All-Star game for a while, was wearing the uniforms, not the team uniforms in the game.
You didn't
Um,
like the uniforms.
I didn't like. I know I like it when the Phillies have their Phillies jerseys on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I mean the jersey ads are my favorite. But really, one thing. Yeah, I mean that's a tangent. The All-Star game, I thought it was awesome. Um,
Yeah.
It was the Hank Aaron thing in the bottom of the sixth inning was pretty cool.
That was
I don't know what
awesome.
you guys thought about that. Yeah, Ryan, I know you're oh you were there. You're at the Derby. Oh, you got to tell us about the Derby.
Dude,
Oh my gosh.
that the Derby is so crazy in person because you can't follow it any better than you can on the live stream.
Right.
And I mean,
Right.
but it's just so much cooler because you're
You're watching guys
Cruz
tee
hitting a
off.
ball 513 feet. I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think I would ever see a ball hit that far in person. When James Wood hit his 486 in the first round, I was like, oh, I
Mm,
probably just saw the furthest hit ball of the day. Like
right.
Yeah.
off the bat, it was like nuts. And then
Right.
O'Neill Cruz hit that 513, and we were like, okay, that's really deep, but like, how far is this going to go? And in that part by the bullpen in Truist, above it, it's like not many balls go there ever. And when they do, they're like 460,
Right.
470. And then he hit it over that. So we were like, whoa, what is the distance on this? And unfortunately, I was like two swings away from filming it.
Right.
I didn't want to film
Mm.
too much because I was like trying to enjoy it as well. But
Take it in. Yeah.
I wanted stuff to watch back too. Um,
No,
so
I mean, I think it was cool because I saw on Twitter that someone um, was watching the ESPN2 broadcast. That was the StatCast one, but it wasn't really, I mean, the broadcasting wasn't like the best, like what you wanted to hear during a home run derby, just talking about like attack angle and everything. And
Yeah.
that just wasn't like, I'm just trying to
Launch
watch him hit.
angle.
But they had the good camera, and every time they took a swing, like instant ex velo launch angle. So there's a run, and Junior Caminero, I think it was his semifinal round where he hit like six or seven in a row, and it was a pretty cool angle because it was down. If you're a right-handed hitter, it was kind of down in front of you, behind the left-handed batter's box, kind of at that angle going up. See the ball flight, and that was pretty cool. But do you guys think? I know I said it yesterday in the group chat. do you think the balls were juiced,
Yes.
and and
Yeah,
and why? And now you see the dip in league averages across the board. And home run totals, obviously, there are the few guys that are banging them, but there have been so many cases this year of the ball kind of dying. And I was reminiscing about whatever it was, like 2018 or 2019, when they had what they thought were the juice balls.
there were so many
And
home runs.
right, and I kind of wish that was. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. That's
Well, I think what's happening is I've heard a tweet that McCutcheon put out like a couple weeks ago where he's saying there's more air resistance on the ball because the seams are a little bit higher.
mhm,
And I think they're trying to counteract the sticky stuff kind
right,
of epidemic where it was like, all right, we're going to crack down on sticky stuff. And then all the pitchers are like, we can't grip the ball. So they probably were like, all right,
right,
let's make the seams a little bit higher. But the ball was going nowhere. Like it's
right,
just getting knocked down by air. Now, is it really that much different? I don't know. But like I've seen plenty of tweets of guys hitting balls
right.
105 at like 20, 26, and it's like,
Right.
how is that
It's
not
like they can't be top spinning it every time.
right?
Right,
Exactly.
they're
Right.
big leaguers.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, it's for like I think the seams definitely do play a big factor because when you think about in Japan, their seams are really high. And I remember I was looking at something and it was like saying I was talking about Trevor Bauer. It's like Trevor Bauer has one of the worst ERAs in the league, and at the time he had like a 3.7,
Yeah,
and it's because
Yeah.
the ball does not fly over there because they have the smaller ball and the raised seams. Um, but no, I mean, this is a bone I would pick with this is I think that pitchers should be allowed to use whatever they want to use to get a better grip on the ball. Um, and I think that the ball should be um, they should be the juice ball or a more explosive ball again because I think that was um, pitchers at their best. Hitters
hitters
getting a
don't
little bit
get cheated.
right. They get a little bit of a reward because I think we're now starting to get fully into. We're getting almost too comfortable with guys that are 98 now.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's that cat that the Giants have, that reliever. Can't remember his name.
Randy
Um,
Rodriguez.
Was
yes,
it the All-Star? Yeah, he was there yesterday.
the sweeper he throws is one of the most violent pitches I've ever seen in my life.
Iconic.
Um, and that's where I'm like, we gotta. I don't know. Because as a hitter, I'm biased. I never would want them to push the mound back. I would never want them to lower the mounds because I think having the like sizes or the height you can have, the like threshold that you can have for mound sizes, I think that's cool. So every park is a different mound. Um, but yeah, I mean, I want to see offense. That's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, people do.
Um,
I know, and I wonder what like a baseball today would compare to a baseball in the 90s.
yeah. It has to deal with how tightly wound the strings are too.
Mhm.
Because when it
Mhm.
was like the juice ball era or whatever, it had something to do with how tightly they wounded the strings that made the
Yeah,
baseballs. It's probably a combination of both of those things, and then they threw those super juice balls you know, into the home run derby. And I mean, when I tell you like O'Neal Cruz was relatively consistently over 115, it's
It was
really not
insane.
an exaggeration. Like the exit velos on the balls he was hitting. I mean, he had one that was off the wall that I really wish they just showed the exit velo
Mm.
just because. I mean, it was pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
He broke a freaking window
Did he have the chop house
behind it.
behind it? Oh my
Yeah, because
God.
he hit it
how
over.
how far does that ball have to go?
So far.
On
Depending
the
on where on the
roof
chop
of the
house,
chop house?
I think it hit the roof of the chop house and hit the apartment behind it, and that was one of his like 480 shots.
What about
Most
that
people thought they
guy?
were safe.
Yeah,
What about that guy who I don't know, it looked like he was a little too old to be in the outfield, the guy that robbed Junior Caminero.
Oh, I
dude,
saw a
that
picture of
was
that.
the funniest thing ever. Like they counted it, so it's like whatever.
I know. I
But
was thinking like if they don't count this and he goes on to lose by one, that would have been like a historic bad because I was thinking Junior Caminero, if loss like that is losing out on a chance at $1 million. That's more than he's
Right.
making
He's
this
not even
year.
he's not even making $1 million.
No,
The
no.
funny thing is, it almost happened in one of the rounds before. I don't remember who was hitting. And me and my brother look at each other and we're like, what happens if this actually happens? And sure enough,
Right.
it did. And then they counted it.
That was
That was what kind of sucks about, the home run derby. And I don't know if it's the format or the audience or whatever it was, but that was the loudest the stadium got all day was when a kid robbed a home run.
right.
Like, besides like maybe some of the home runs in the championship, or besides maybe some of the crazy bombs that O'Neill hit, the 513 was kind of a stadium eruption. When
Right.
that popped up, everybody was like, what in the world?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, the crowd just wasn't as into it as I thought they would be.
Mhm.
It's so repetitive.
Yeah.
It's so
That's why
repetitive. And I
people
think
that aren't baseball fans don't really watch it that much.
right, right.
It's a
I
little
wish
free.
that
It's a little
they
3 point contesty.
it is, and it takes longer. And I mean, I don't know, it's people are further away. It's not like you're right there watching,
Yeah.
Zach Levine chuck up 5 racks. um, but I think that they should go back to the 10 outs. Um,
I'm not against
because
that.
I think that like watching the videos that pops up every year for the home run derby of Josh Hamilton just having that 28 home run round and him just taking his time and just hitting balls into the third deck and everybody going crazy for every swing.
Here's what I think they should do. Because for me, at least, I think the coolest thing is when they rip off like five in a row. Like, that's the crazy
Right.
thing. They just boom, 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 bomb, bomb, bomb. What I think
It's
they should do is put a time limit, or maybe not put a time limit on it, but maybe bring back the outs, but you got to keep the speed of it. You can't have guys just thinking like it's the bonus round. And honestly, the guys perform better when they weren't in the bonus round because they think too much whenever they're like, all right, step away, get back in the box,
right.
put together all these swing thoughts, and you're thinking too much about hitting the ball in the air, whereas you're just swinging with the timer. So I think 10 outs, you get, and then you get like a 10-second clock or a 5 second
Right.
clock after the ball hits the ground until your
Mhm.
batting practice pitcher has to throw the ball. And if you don't, then that one doesn't count.
Right. No,
I
I
don't think
dig
that's a
that.
bad idea.
I don't either. Um,
Because the
yeah,
whole the whole concern with the old format is how freaking long it takes. Like, if guys just sit there and take 2 minutes
It
in
does
between
take a long
swings,
time.
it's gonna take
right.
forever.
What time did you leave the yard on Monday night?
I like 10:45. Hold on, let me pull up my video. I have video of the championship. Yeah, so Common Arrow's last out was at 10:49.
Okay.
See, like that's longer than your average baseball game now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
because we got there at 8, or it started at 8, I should
It
say.
started at 8.
And
I
if it
got
takes,
one more thing about the All Stars. Go ahead, Ryan. I was just gonna say my one thing really quick.
well, I was just gonna say, like, and it takes so long to do it already with a timed format. Like, it's partially because of ads, but I don't know. I think the old format is a little bit more flawed than people think, and I've seen a lot of tweets about people saying the whole reason it was removed was because of widespread complaint. So nobody's ever
Interesting.
or you're never gonna please everybody.
That's true. My one thing, and then I'm willing to get off All Star Week if you guys are too, is
Mm.
the swing off at the end of the game
Ugh,
is only, I think, if I have it correctly, you can only pick cats that are currently in the lineup.
right.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's all the
Jonathan
guys
Arand.
that are making their first All Star team. I think Kyle Stowers was in the swing off.
Yep.
Mm.
So
He did
like
okay.
I
Fresh
think
off a 3 home run game.
yeah, I think the swing off's a fine idea, especially for speeding the game up. But bring the big horses back, right?
Yeah.
I know you got. I
Like
mean, the fact that Judge and Otani weren't in
like
there,
how's Big Dumper not
how's
up
Cal
there with
Raleigh,
the
the
All
home run
Star
derby
game on the line?
champion?
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
The thing for me is, like, I kind of wanted to see like an actual extra ending because I think a walk off would have been so sick,
Right.
That is
but
cool.
you can't do it because of pitching.
Right.
So
Oh, and my last thing on the All Star game too. I think they need to bring it back to where it meant something for home field advantage in the World Series. I think people wouldn't be sitting out them.
Okay, but
Yeah, people wouldn't sit out.
I said this last night though. Yes, but imagine a swing off home run derby determining who's going to be home field advantage for the World Series. Like that is the goofiest
That'd
way
be
to
so insane.
possibly determine
Yeah,
that.
they would have to go to extra innings. They'd have to figure something out.
Yeah, I would. Judge would be up there. I'll tell you that much.
Oh
Yeah,
God, yeah.
What if
no, you have.
once they finish nine, they just go to tread and pick up the guys throwing bullpens and have them pitch the 10th in the All-Star game?
Oh my gosh, imagine. Or
They start
imagine if
going
they had a taxi squad, an all-star taxi squad.
Best player, the AAA Cy Young.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, it's like Quinn Matthews or something. Um, but no, yeah. So yeah, I was another thing I wanted to talk about was the draft. Um,
Oh yeah, we're already
I'm
halfway here just to keep pace.
okay. I I don't know. The Phillies taking Gage Wood is very interesting to me
that's an
because
awesome.
I think that he's the type of guy who I think Dave Dombrowski not only like obviously the scouting department really likes Gage Wood, and what they're saying is that they see him long term as a starter. But if there's a guy you're going to plug into your bullpen in September and
Of this year.
October of this year, a guy whose fastball is kind of a unicorn fastball from that slot, like
He's got the stuff.
he's got the stuff to do it, and I think he's got the mentality to do it. Obviously, it's really hard to do that,
Yeah.
but
I think the one thing about the draft that kind of like shot at me, and it's kind of multifaceted, but it's like first of all, the first two picks,
Oh my God, that's the only thing I was going to say about it.
massive
um,
curveballs. And
right,
unfortunately, it's due to money and how they're allocating it throughout the draft because the Rockies did a different strategy where they dropped, whatever, $8.8 million on one player, whereas the Angels spent more money in the second and the third round.
hmm
That's what I'm hearing. I still don't think they spent that much money anyways, and I think they should have spent more, especially not to get Tyler Bremner at the number 2 overall pick when you had Kate Anderson, Liam Doyle, Seth Hernandez, all of these guys, Kyson Withers,
right,
all of them behind him. Why are you taking Tyler Bremner? Listen, the story is cool. You have the number 2 overall pick.
right.
He's a good pitcher.
You can't miss this.
Like, he's a great pitcher. He's a top 15, 20 pick for sure. Number
Yeah.
2, like Kate Anderson standing you in the face, staring you right in the face. And he's done
Yeah.
nothing but
Seattle's going to have a field day with him, huh?
oh my God. I mean, he's going to come up in 2 years and just be the next Brian Wu,
Seriously.
Gilbert, all those guys they just spat out in the last 3 years.
Yeah. I have one Sox draft comment, maybe one and a half. I saw a
Oh,
little tidbit that it was something like six of the first eight or like seven of the first 10 Red Sox draft picks were SEC right-handed pitchers that are all 6'2" or taller.
yeah. I mean,
So
I
they
mean,
just packed
one of them
they
has to
just
come
packed the
out, right?
house with a bunch
right,
of horses.
right. Like you got one of those guys just gotta hit.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah,
more than one.
and then my half comment is that later on the last day we took a local kid. We took a Newton, Mass native,
Oh wow,
which
nice.
is the town to the north. So that was a small little win for us.
Okay,
One of my brother's
dude,
friends got drafted to the Mets.
that's sweet.
Pretty cool.
That's
I
super
think
sick.
I think another like
That
kind
is
of
really
cool,
cool.
cool little story is Zach Root and Charles Davalon getting picked back to back, both to the Dodgers from
Right.
Arkansas. That's
That's probably a pretty sick feeling.
that's really
Yeah.
fun. And then
Going
the
with your
Mets
boy.
drafted somebody who used the line of truck as a line of something else as a celebration. And then,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
Oh yeah,
was.
I remember that.
I'm surprised his stock didn't fall as much as
yeah,
because he's a pretty good player.
yeah. I
He's a
mean,
two-way
um,
player. He's
I,
pitched, he's
I
played
guess I guess
yeah,
we're going back to like '86 and trying to bring freaking
yeah.
Strawberry back, but
bring Daryl back. No, don't do that. For the record, don't do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the Phils. I'm excited about this trade deadline because the Phils are due to go spend a little bit on a bat, and I'm really curious to see what they're going to do because they're Byron Buxton. What he said, if you didn't
You
hear
saw
Byron
that? What
Buxton,
he just
yeah,
said?
yeah.
What?
If anybody listening didn't hear Byron
Why do
Buxton
you
at the
mean
All Star
that?
game, yeah, I said I'm not getting traded. I have a no trade clause. I am a Twin for life, um, which is bold. And I think that what he didn't realize is that the Twins faithful, I'm sure, would understand, um, because he's the type
Yeah.
of guy who is established. Um, he's healthy right now, knock on wood. Um, but I think he's deserves to play in a big time game and make go on a playoff run somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it'll be so he's off the table. There's the Eugenio Suarez, um, the
Who almost
fiasco
took
with him.
himself off the
Yeah,
market last night for the rest.
yeah, getting him the hand was crazy. But
That
the
sucks.
thought behind him would be move Bone to first and Harper back to the outfield. You solve two problems in one. Um,
That'd be fun.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, they got to get an arm. They got to get a reliever. They've been Emmanuel
Mhm.
Clase, which would be wild, and Yonder are the two. But I don't know. What about the Sox? Are looking to be? They might be buying now, right?
The Sox have rattled off 10 straight. They're looking to buy. I think the number one thing on the list is a number two.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
since June 1, Lucas Giolito and Brian Bayo have both been very good two and a halves.
Okay.
But like if you can go four deep, what's so
Right.
funny about the Sox?
No, the two and a
Two
half.
and a half just got
They're two and a
back to back.
halves.
No, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
They're not twos. So obviously Joe Ryan takes a lot.
That would take
I
a
think
lot.
someone's going to trade for Joe Ryan because someone's going to dangle something in the Twins' face that they really want.
Yeah.
I think
Um,
that if they were to get Joe Ryan, they would. I don't think um, Jaron Duran is the type of player they'd give up for that. I think it'd be something else.
yeah, well, that's the other thing is there's a crowded outfield, that's for sure.
Right.
So there's reasonable clause to justify trading away Duran or Abreu. I'd probably rather it be Duran, but regardless, I'm hesitant because what happens if you trade that guy and the other one goes down? Like the one you still have gets hurt and
Right.
misses time. Like now you just look like fools.
Right.
But if it's for the right price, it's got to be for like a really, really good pitcher.
Right.
So I don't know. That's the type of thing that if it materializes, it does. And if it doesn't, you kind of just
Right.
hope you stay hot and keep your playoff spot.
Yeah.
It's a shame none of them, or it's a shame the whole Red Sox outfield truly is our plus defenders because like say Willier was not as good of a glove as he is, there could be the option to move him to first base and kind of
Yeah,
solve
no.
that problem. But it's not an option.
My guy Yoshida's been taking some grounders.
Yeah, I mean Yoshida they really have five starting outfielders. Um,
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible. And then the whole Romy, or no, it's not Romy. Who are it's what's the platoon you have at
Romy Gonzalez and Abraham Toro.
and they're both just raking.
They're both playing good. Romy Gonzalez is
Yeah,
hitting like 395 versus lefties.
it's insane.
And
Gosh.
Sadon Rafaela is like third in WAR in the last 5 weeks or something like that.
He's been
Like
so good.
that's an actual true number. It's like Aaron Judge, Dumper, Sadon.
No, his what was it? It was like his June OPS or OPS plus was like 290 or 270 or
Yeah.
something. It's like that
What
is
a dog.
unreal. Um,
So
but yeah,
the Mets need a little lift maybe.
The Mets need somebody who's not going to hurt themselves when they're moving on the pitching mound. Uh,
It's a good bet.
Yeah.
Everybody has hurt themselves. The Mets have 15 players on the IL, or they had this a couple weeks ago. They now have 17 on the IL, I think the number is, um, which
Wow.
14 of them are pitchers.
Yeah, I bet.
14. Six of them are
How about
starting
That's
pitchers.
those?
unbelievable.
So, yeah, so we're hurt. We're hurting. The offense is fine. Soto has been himself and beyond for the last 2 months ish.
He was always going to
Lindor
be
is playing with
fine.
a broken toe, so he's just struggling a little bit. He's fine. The offense is fine. Pete Alonso's awesome. The offense is like somewhat fine, and the defense is great. The pitching has taken such a step down. The Pirates series was the most abysmal thing I've ever watched in my entire life, and I almost threw up everywhere watching us lose by double digits to the Pirates multiple times. With that being said, I'm looking at some guys who might be on the market, and yeah, guys like a Yohan Duran, even like a Sir Anthony Dominguez is relatively cheap. Um, you
He's
can get
probably just on
Phils could use
one
him. The
year.
Phils could use him again.
Yeah, you can get like an Anthony Bender from the Marlins, who's relatively cheap. Maybe I don't know. But starting pitching is also needed too. Mania just came back, and while he did get the loss, he pitched 4 innings and struck it, or 3.2, maybe something like that, and struck out around eight. So he is he looked really, really good. It was the Royals, but it's okay. Um, yeah, and then
You got
Senga
to play
came.
who's in front of you.
Yeah, so Mania, Senga, and Holmes are still going to hold down the top three. I would love to get somebody. I think it would be cool if the Mets went out and got Luis Severino. He hates Oakland. He pitches horrible in that ballpark. And I think it would just fit if they went out and got him because he became a fan favorite last year. So
Yeah,
I
no, that would
would
be
like some of those moves.
that would be a good
That
get for
does
them.
that does it puts themselves under a lot of money again,
True.
which I guess if you're Steve Cohen and you're doing anything to win a World Series, it's something that you're open to. But it also was money that they weren't willing to pay him over the winter.
Also
Right.
true.
It's hard to, I mean, but also if you're going to take on that money, you can keep some of your prospects. It's a
Yeah.
very much like a balancing act. Like if we don't want to give up, if the Sox don't want to give up something for Joe Ryan, just give us Christian Vasquez or some other bad contract, and then that can sometimes lessen the load of the prospect you have to give up.
And there's a lot of talk right now about the Mets getting Mitch Keller, who I'm a fan of. I'd be cool with that. I don't
It
mind that.
doesn't really.
I don't love it. It
He
doesn't
doesn't really move the needle as much as some other
exactly. It does
guys.
That's
not move
exactly
the
it.
needle, and which is fine. I mean, we don't. We need somebody who's better than all the random NPC guys we've thrown on the mound who literally I don't know who they are until they're the starting pitcher.
Right.
Yeah,
So Mitch Keller would be cool. I think the Mets. I think he's a good mold for the Mets pitching lab to get a hold of. He's got the big sweeper. He's got the sinker. That's kind of what they like is that combination of horizontal movement and high
Mm.
velo. So yeah, I wouldn't mind it, and his contract's cheap. So
there aren't a lot of needle movers that are going to be around here. I would say Joe Ryan is one. I would say, even though he's having a bad season right now, Zach Gallen could also be one.
Mm.
But the difference between the two is, if I'm not mistaken, Zach Gallen is a free agent either at the end of this year or 2026. Joe Ryan
It's
has
one of
this
the
year and
two.
two.
Yeah.
Joe Ryan has this year and two more. So I think if you get Zach Gallen or Mitch Keller, like you said, it's more of a settle. But also, I was just listening to this in the car with my mom, actually, talking about how when you add a player, what that does to your clubhouse, if you're trying to be like in the hunt,
Mm.
if you add like a legit player, the psychology of that can really make an impact. So even if it
Hmm.
feels like you're settling, you might as well just like get a guy that has a chance to be really helpful.
Right. And maybe a guy that's been there before. which I think
Yeah,
is an even bigger bonus because it's not just some unproven guy um, that you're hoping can make a difference. That's where another name for the Phillies that people have been it's been floated for so long is Luis Robert, and I think he is really um, taking having the White Sox effect played out on him right now.
hmm
I think he's pretty checked out, which obviously you don't love, but I can't imagine for the past 3 years being in that clubhouse every day for 162 games and knowing it's not going anywhere. It's probably pretty frustrating for a player of his caliber. Um,
hmm
but he would be cheap, and that's where I, me personally, if they did that, I would not hate it at all because he's shown he can do it. I think he's a guy that could be a change scenery guy and would cost the Mick Abels or the Justin Crawfords for the Phillies at
not
least. So
anymore. Not
no,
anymore. He wouldn't. That's for sure. We're having this conversation 2 years ago, but like you said, he's had 2 years of White Sox effect, and how
right?
much can you blame anything that the White Sox do on any individual player?
You can't. You can't.
The difference of
Um,
if he gets traded is if the White Sox have the mentality that they are trading for what he can do rather than what he has done. And
mm,
if they're trading for Luis Robert from 2020 to 2022, then they're going to be asking for a top 30 guy or two or three.
Oh
And
yeah,
if they're trading for Luis Robert as of late, you're giving up like prospect number 25
right.
and calling it a day.
Right. And
So
maybe we'll salary dump and a bullpen arm.
yeah,
yeah. It depends.
um, yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. I don't ever want to wish time away, but I would really love for it to be July 30th right now and have a little bit
Yeah,
more closure of what's going to happen. Um, but I mean, we're 2 weeks out, so
yeah,
and then the other like after this all happens, the team still got to play.
right.
Especially for us in the American League. The National League is kind of cookie cutter. Like we know who's going to be there and we know who's
Mm,
not going to be there. What like the Red Sox could go 15-5 out of the deadline. They could just as well go 5-15.
right.
The Rangers have had a disappointing season. What if they go 15-5? Then they're right there.
Mm.
The central teams not all the way out of a wild card spot.
They're hanging around in
They
they're
really like to
right.
linger.
Right. They're hanging around. They're not like the Royals, especially not showing any signs of life. Um,
Yeah,
the the Guardians, I think. I mean, those guys did it last year. They um,
they battle.
right. They battle, and I think it's still in that dugout. And I think that's going to be also part of the hesitancy for them to trade a Clase or a Stephen Kwan because they don't necessarily want to, tear it all down because I don't think they're that far. And I think they're a team that could
No.
really benefit from an owner that is willing to spend a lot of money because
Yeah.
the fans are passionate. You've seen it when they get there. They're um, an exciting team to have in October. It's a great atmosphere. Um,
I I think the team with the biggest they got to make a decision soon is the Braves because
Yeah.
it's the weirdest season and you have to look at it and say we're not winning it this year, but what can we do in the next 5? And
mm,
if me personally, if I'm the Braves, I'm trading away Matt Olson and I'm honestly trying to see what value I can get out of Chris Sale, even though he's hurt. He's not going to play this year, but he'll play next year. Maybe he's an offseason move, but like I would trade Matt Olson ASAP. They
right.
need young stars. They need people who are close to MLB ready, but they aren't, but they're not, MLB
Right. Their
talent.
farm's pretty depleted. They haven't had a strong farm system in a while.
6 or 7 years
And
Yeah.
until since all
So
the guys were up.
it
right.
kind of, it's honestly like a little bit bad timing that Drake Baldwin is as good as he is because he's kind of the only reason they're not entirely selling already.
Right.
So,
Right. And I think he's a guy. I know you have Sean Murphy, but you got to figure out how to get Drake Baldwin in the lineup more with a team that can't hit to this extent with a whole in 5 through 9 that just is sub 700 OPS. Um, some of them worse, like Nick Allen, great glove, can't swing it. Ozzy,
Michael
his bat
Harris
hasn't been
can't
the
swing it.
same.
it's just
Michael
the worst
Harris can't
qualified
swing it.
OPS in baseball.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Got a minute and a half.
Yeah, I
Um,
will say about the Braves, and then maybe we just put a bow on it, is some of their contracts are there for more than 1 year. So
yeah.
they got to decide, can this group do it again with some supporting cast, or do they need to tear it all down?
Yeah,
It's a
totally.
legit question.
It
And
is.
I think there's an argument for either side, just like you just posed, right?
Yeah.
Um,
It'll be
but yeah,
interesting.
it'll be very interesting. And I mean, the talk, the idea of it's a shame that it's not a shame, but for the Braves fans, but it's a shame that they signed Acuna to that big contract, or not the big money wise, but year wise, because maybe that could have been. I know I hate to say it, but like the Nationals trading a Juan Soto away and getting a King's ransom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
it could be good.
yeah,
All right, guys.
yeah.
Alrighty. It
It was a
really
pleasure.
was an absolute
It was a
pleasure.
Thank you
pleasure.
guys for having me again. This was an
Yeah, of
honor.
course. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.